If you're ready to explore some more of Oregon this month, come along to the area around Tillamook, Oregon. Last month, if you were along, you remember we got as far as Hug Point, which is just 10 miles south of Cannon Beach on Oregon's upper coast. After visiting this scenic beach, we're going on north. This is Arcadia Beach State Park.
Now you notice what this one looks like, don't you? It reminds you of the pyramid, not the pyramids in Egypt, but the Sphinx in Egypt.
Oh, you're right, it does. This big rock formation is actually called Lion Rock. It's a mile or so north of Hug Point. Then, on north from here, there's a few big rocks that the gulls like to stay on. Looks like a pretty safe spot from predators, wouldn't you say? These rocks would be pretty hard to climb. In just a little bit, we'll take a look on north to Haystack Rock, and then south again and see the other side of Lion Rock. This is Tolovana Park, and it's just south of Cannon Beach.
Tolovana Park Post Office is right there.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this is Haystack Rock, the third largest monolith in the world. During low tides, you'll find quite a variety of jellyfish, small crabs, starfish, and other sea creatures in the pools around it. Cannon Beach got its name from a cannon that washed up on the beach from a sunken warship. Every year there's a sandcastle building contest here.
Public parking, there we go.
This is still
Haystack Rock. Cannon Beach Post Office. This is the city of Cannon Beach right here.
This isn't on 101, but I guess it still does the trick.
There's the post office right there. You can't go better than that. Grant's Landing Pizza, burgers, and chocolate maltons.
What place?
Huh?
This is the Touristville. A narrow winding road through the forest north from Cannon Beach takes you to Ecola State Park. This is a big park on Tillamook Head. There's another road that comes in from the east that brings you into the center, and a trail from the north that gets you into the north end of the park. It has picnic tables with a view, or you can drive to Indian Beach at the bottom of this hill. Looking on south again, we can still see Haystack Rock and Cannon Beach. After Cannon Beach and Ecola State Park, we turn west to Necanicum Junction and Hamlet. Go south on Highway 53, then on to Camp 18 and Elsie, and south to Spruce Run Park, and where a whole line of 7 logging villages once stood, including Salmonberry, then Barnsdale, and back to Tillamook. Going east or inland from the coast, the first little village that you come to is Necanicum Junction, which is just a gas and a snack shop 9 miles away from Highway 101. About 5 miles southeast is Hamlet, likely an old logging village that ran out of logs, with several old buildings. An interesting place to say the least. Going on south past the 2-mile post, Highway 53 winds over some scenic mountains, then follows the Nehalem River until you get to Moeller and Highway 101 again, just after the 12-mile post. Back to Highway 26 again, and another 6 miles east is Camp 18, a real outdoor logging museum with a gift shop and a restaurant. Every spring they fire up some of the old machinery around here and show you how they used to log in the good old days.
I always had a love for the old logging equipment.
Ah.
Loved to do it. We started building the building in about 1980.
A couple more miles east is Elsie, Oregon, another small gas and food stop along the way. The first road I thought went south just dead-ended at someone's ranch.
You know, we might be on the wrong road.
I told you that.
Finally, at the west end of Elsie, we found the sign pointing to Henry Ryerson's Spruce Run Park. There are a few people that live on either end of this road, but there aren't any houses at all out in the middle where my old Oregon map shows a dozen old lumber towns. These are about the last buildings. The others must have rotted away or someone took them down. Finally, this is Henry Ryerson's Spruce Run Park.
Now the road went way down again. Look at that. We're now down to 12 feet, maybe less than 12. About 12 foot. The road's getting narrow now. Now it's getting to a crown.
Well, I'll have to get out and walk.
They have to just put one wheel on here and tilt it.
It's pretty.
Now the road narrows. There's a sign warning me it's going to get narrow again.
Okay. Well, we're ready for it.
We are?
Yeah.
9 more miles of this, it says.
Windy next 9 miles.
These fishermen's cars by the tracks are where Salmonberry once stood. There were 5 more towns on down on the right-hand side of the river along the tracks, plus 5 more along the tracks to the left, between Cochrane and here.
I don't expect to see many cars coming from this other way.
We're turning left at the junction of Highway 53 by Moeller. There's no more town of Barnsdale, only a few farms and barns. That's probably where they got the name Barnsdale from. After another 10 miles or so, we come back onto Highway 101, through Bay City, and back to Tillamook. Back in the late 1800s, the dairies and cheese makers had more than they could sell locally, so they got a boat to transport their products to market by way of Astoria. Inside the cheese plant, recordings tell you just how the cheese is made.
Rennet is added to start coagulation and aids in cheese ripening. After 25 minutes of thickening, the milk is congealed into a custard-like mass. Agitator knife blades rotate slowly through the vat, slicing milk into long spaghetti-like strands of curd, which are then broken into tiny curds by gently stirring. After cutting, the liquid whey separates from the curds as the temperature is gradually raised to 100 degrees and is maintained for 40 minutes. When cooking is completed, the curds and whey are pumped into the next stage, the giant cheddar master unit. When the cheddar curd enters the towers, vacuum and pressure are applied to compact the curd together and remove any remaining whey. After approximately 30 minutes in the tower, a 40-pound block of cheddar is ejected and wrapped in a protective bag. The block is then weighed and vacuum sealed to protect the cheese during the aging process. Each vacuum sealed 40-pound block of cheese is labeled with date, weight, and vat number before it is boxed and transferred to the cold storage unit for quick chilling. The cheese is cooled from 90 degrees to 55 degrees in 18 hours.
From Tillamook, we're going west to Cape Meares Beach and Lighthouse and Wildlife Refuge. Then Ocean View, Oceanside, Netarts, and Wilson Beach. The beach on the Cape Meares sandbar is different from most of Oregon's beaches because of the old dead trees on it. From the hill and back, you can see the whole peninsula as well as Bay City and Garibaldi at the other end of the harbor. The lighthouse at Cape Meares has got a very elaborate magnifying glass in it. You can climb the stairs and examine it close up if you wish to. The grounds here are a haven for wildlife. If you look very closely, you'll see some sea creatures sunning on the rocks. It's hard to fathom how the same God who takes care of all this also has time to look after us and answer the prayers and requests of each of his people.
Islands.
That's just a sign. The tree's this way.
Yeah.
Justin, I didn't see if you can see a real one. You go and sit down there, Mommy, take your picture.
Let's get a picture. Get the octopus. Mommy, get over there.
Are we gonna go in it?
Okay, that's it. Inhale, I'm gonna leave.
The octopus tree is just a short walk from the Lighthouse parking lot. There wasn't any town where the map shows ocean view, so the next town south of the Cape is Oceanside. It's built on a very steep hillside, but nice houses. There were several people picking up something from the beach, so later I called the lady at the Oceanside Inn to see if there was something valuable out there. They're probably just picking up agates, she told me. So this must be a favorite spot for rockhounds. This inn looks like it's got a few lots cleared for building alongside of it. It's about a mile south of Oceanside. And then in about another half mile is Netarts and its beach. Down at the end of this road, we found some people sitting on a park bench. And I also saw some people picking up things from off the beach, so I asked them if they knew what the people were picking up. Do you know what everybody's picking up on the beaches?
Probably just
Shells.
Oh, shells. Oh, okay. I just wondered, I saw a lot of people picking stuff up.
you got a good zoom, you can get those harbor seals over there.
Where are they at?
Over there, along the sand spit over there.
Straight across to the sand.
A couple hundred seals over there.
That peninsula where the seals are is just on the north end of Oceanside Beach Park. And this is where the town of Wilson Beach once stood. Nothing here now. Now from the seals at Oceanside Beach and Wilson Beach, we'll go by Netarts Bay and Cape Lookout. Then to Sand Lake and its beach, next Tierra del Mar, Woods, Cape Kiwanda, Straub Wayside, and Pacific City. This is Netarts Bay. You can see more of the peninsula on the other side. Cape Lookout Park is the only way that you can get onto the peninsula, unless you've got a boat, of course. The only drawback is that you can't get out of your car anywhere without paying, because the park and the camp areas both have pay booths at the entrance. The camping area has one of the best beaches in the whole area. This is looking north. The next direction we'll look is south, where you'll see the Cape Lookout rocks jutting out into the ocean. And then in just another minute, we'll take a look back here from up on top of the cape. If you have an inclination to be a builder, you might want to try your hand at sand castles. These little tykes must have been at it for a while. You get a pretty good wind up here on the cape from off the beach, which makes it just a perfect place for hand gliding. And do you pull on the wires, or you just lean? Oh, you lean one way. Oh, I see, and you use your weight to steer it.
Good goes, guys.
That entire flight took just a little over a minute. About a mile or two south of the Cape is a busy dune buggy area. You can tell by all the tire tracks around. Then there's another good sand mountain just 8 miles south of here at Cape Kiwanda that seems to be a favorite hand gliding point. In fact, the wind was so strong at the top one day when my boys and I climbed it that we couldn't hardly even stand up once we got up there. The next little town is Sand Lake. Just a little west of the town is Sand Lake itself, as well as a campground. A long ways out from this lake is the ocean and Sand Lake Beach. This is just one more beautiful recreational place that God has put here just for our enjoyment. Another 4 miles south of Sand Lake is the small community of Tierra del Mar. There aren't any businesses here, only roads going back to the houses, and there must be around 30 of them. You have to leave the Three Capes scenic route and go over a hill in order to get to woods. It's just another small town, but it has gas and food and an RV park. A little north of Cape Kiwanda is this beach access road going to the big sand hill I was just talking about. You have to get a run at it in order to keep from getting stuck in the dry sand if it hasn't rained for a while, so we decided not to try it this time. We'll take a look at the back of the hill from the Cape Kiwanda parking lot at the end of this street. Just a little south of Cape Kiwanda on the Three Capes Highway is Straub Park. You can see it's only a little south of those same rocks. This park is only about a quarter mile from the main street of Pacific City. It's a nice little town. Are you curious to see what's up some more of Oregon's back roads? If so, come back again next month and we'll see some more. We're on every week now, so next week let's visit what used to be Tillamook's blimp hangar, then more of Oregon's picturesque beaches. After that we'll go inland along what is probably the most scenic of roads to the coast, from Beaver to Carlton, with a stop off at McMinnville to see the Spruce Goose Airplane Museum. See you there to do a little more exploring next week.